Hello again. Welcome back to the Religious Education Initiative. This is year 5 and week 41. We're continuing through Third Kingdoms. Now, on this day 1, I should say. Now, last time we saw the first generation of kings after Solomon's death. We say kings, not king, because Solomon's kingdom was divided, as God had warned him that it would be, so that there was a northern kingdom called Israel with 10 tribes, and its capital in Shechem, later in Samaria, and a southern kingdom called Judah with 2 tribes, and its capital in Jerusalem. Both Rehoboam, Solomon's son, and Jeroboam, the first king of Israel, were evil in the sight of the Lord, and the unity and power and glory of Solomon's kingdom declined precipitately during their reigns. This time we will see what happens after the kings of this first generation after Solomon die. So this is chapter 15 of Third Kingdoms, or First Kings. So, now in the 18th year of King Jeroboam, son of Nebat, Abijam began to reign over Judah. He reigned for 3 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Maacah, daughter of Abishalom. That's Absalom. He committed all the sins that his father did before him. His heart was not true to the Lord his God, like the heart of his father David. Nevertheless, for David's sake, the Lord his God gave him a lamp in Jerusalem, setting up his son after him, and establishing Jerusalem, because David did what was right in the sight of the Lord, and did not turn aside from anything that he commanded him all the days of his life, except in the matter of Uriah the Hittite. The war begun between Rehoboam and Jeroboam continued all the days of his life. The rest of the acts of Abijam and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the annals of the kings of Judah? There was war between Abijam and Jeroboam. Abijam slept with his ancestors, and they buried him in the city of David. Then his son Asa succeeded him. In the 20th year of King Jeroboam of Israel, Asa began to reign over Judah. He reigned 41 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Maacah, daughter of Abishalom. Asa did what was right in the sight of the Lord, as his father David had done. He put away the male temple prostitutes out of the land, and he removed all the idols that his ancestors had made. He also removed his mother Maacah from being queen mother, because she had made an abominable image for Asherah. Asa cut down her image and burned it at the Wadi Kidron, but the high places were not taken away. Nevertheless, the heart of Asa was true to the Lord all his days. He brought into the house of the Lord the votive gifts of his father and his own votive gifts, silver, gold, and utensils. Then we're going to skip over what happens next, just summing up. Meanwhile, in Israel, Jeroboam's son Nadab succeeds him, but is killed after 2 years in a coup by a general named Baasha, who killed everyone from Jeroboam's household, according to the word of the Lord through the prophet Ahijah. So, then moving on to verse 33 of chapter 15. In the 3rd year of King Asa of Judah, Baasha, son of Ahijah, began to reign over all Israel at Tirzah. He reigned 24 years. He did what was evil in the sight of the Lord, walking in the way of Jeroboam, and in the sin that he caused Israel to commit. And then we're going to skip through some more. Baasha's son Elah succeeds him, but he only reigns 2 years. And then he is murdered by Zimri, who destroys Baasha's household and reigns for 7 days. Wow. Then Omri, the commander of the army, fought against Zimri and another pretender, Tibni, and became king. So that's the year of 4 kings in Israel. And verse 23 of chapter 16 now, we skipped over a lot. In the 31st year of King Asa of Judah, Omri began to reign over Israel. He reigned for 12 years, 6 of them in Tirzah. He bought the hill of Samaria from Shemer for 2 talents of silver. He fortified the hill, and called the city that he built Samaria, after the name of Shemer, the owner of the hill. Omri did what was evil in the sight of the Lord. He did more evil than all who were before him, for he walked in all the way of Jeroboam son of Nebat, and in the sins that he caused Israel to commit, provoking the Lord, the God of Israel, to anger by their idols. Now the rest of the acts of Omri that he did, and the power that he showed, are they not written in the book of the annals of the kings of Israel? Omri slept with his ancestors, and was buried in Samaria. His son Ahab succeeded him. And we're going to sum all this up again, because we've read a lot of this before, way back in year 1. So we'll read it again next year. So this King Ahab, the son of Omri, marries Jezebel, a princess of Sidon. And he goes beyond any other king of Israel so far by worshiping not just the golden calves used to worship Yahweh, the God of Israel, in a false and unacceptable way, but still at least in name worshiping Yahweh, the God of Israel. But he began to worship Baal and Asherah, the evil gods of the Canaanites, officially. And then, of course, God sends Elijah the Tishbite to warn Ahab and call Israel to return to him, as we read and will again read soon in year 1. After the confrontation at Mount Carmel, with the prophets of Baal and Elijah calling down fire, and the fire comes down on Elijah's offering, and the prophets of Baal are killed, and so forth. After that, the prophet Elijah encounters God on the mountain, and is then sent to anoint a new king in Damascus, a new king of Israel, although Ahab is still king, and a new prophet to succeed himself. Then we move forward into the book of 4th Kingdoms, or 2nd Kings, where Elijah is carried into heaven, and the story continues with Elisha, the new prophet who succeeds him. Of all the stories that are told in 3rd and 4th Kingdoms, this period, during the reign of King Ahab in Israel and King Jehoshaphat, the son of King Asa in Judah, and the reign of their immediate successors, takes the most time in these 2 books. During this period, the prophets are particularly active and visible in Israel, as God cares for those of his people who are faithful to him despite their evil kings, and sends these prophets as messengers and guides to them. These chapters are particularly worth reading, as we see the hapless kings of Israel vacillate between the different pagan gods and Yahweh, the God of Israel, while we see the faithful prophets ceaselessly bearing witness to the truth and the power and the love of the Lord. In these chapters, and especially in those dealing with Elisha, rather in the prophets, and especially in Elisha, God works many miracles, and we will see one of them here this week, and more in the next 2 weeks before we continue with the final decline of Israel and the temporary renaissance in Judah. So we continue the story in 4th Kingdoms, I believe, chapter 4. So this is chapter 4, verse 1. Now the wife of one of the sons of the prophets cried to Elisha, Your servant, my husband, is dead, and you know that your servant feared the Lord, but the creditor has come to take my 2 children to be his slaves. And Elisha said to her, What shall I do for you? Tell me, what have you in the house? And she said, Your maidservant has nothing in the house except a jar of oil. Then he said, Go outside, borrow vessels of all your neighbors, empty vessels, and not too few. Then go in and shut the door upon yourself and your sons, and pour into all these vessels, and when one is full, set it aside. So she went from him and shut the door upon herself and her sons, and as she poured, they brought the vessels to her. When the vessels were full, she said to her son, Bring me another vessel. And he said to her, There is not another. Then the oil stopped flowing. She came and told the man of God, and he said, Go, sell the oil and pay your debts, and you and your sons can live on the rest. Okay, so we just covered a whole lot of time in just over 1,100 words. Let's talk about this miracle first. So this is the wife of one of the prophets, which is effectively, we can think almost of like a monastic community, but not all monastics, but a company of faithful people that are living apart from the evil of the society surrounding them. These are the faithful to the Lord, and yet the husband of this family died, and the wife, the widow, is concerned that the creditor to whom they owe money is going to come and enslave her sons. So she asks Elisha, the prophet of the Lord, for help, and Elisha tells her what to do, and God gives mercy to her, and the little vessel of oil that she has, she just keeps pouring, and it doesn't run out of oil. So she fills from this tiny little vessel of oil that she has. She finds that she has enough to fill every vessel, every cup, every pitcher that she can borrow, and she sells all of that oil. So the Lord takes care of her. He protects her. And we see something not dissimilar to the multiplication of the loaves by the Lord and other miracles in the New Testament. So to those who are faithful to the Lord, he is faithful to them and helps them. Now, the rest of this we should look at. There are a couple maybe strange things way back at the beginning. First, this the son of Rehoboam, Abijam, who reigns only 3 years in Jerusalem. It says his mother's name was Maacah, the daughter of Abishalom. That's Absalom, the rebellious son of King David. So, not of a pious household. And we hear when Abijah's son, maybe his son, but there are some challenges here, right? So Abijah it doesn't tell us how old he is. He only reigns for 3 years. And then his son Asa begins to reign. Now, what I think is strange is that it says that both Abijah's mother is named Maacah, daughter of Absalom, and Asa's mother is named Maacah, the daughter of Absalom. What I think is actually happening here is that Maacah is probably the mother of Abijah, but not the mother of Asa, maybe the grandmother, but she has this official role. She is the queen mother. So she is the queen mother who is reigning with Asa when he succeeds. But he gets rid of her because she is an idolater. And so he removes her and removes all of the idols that had come in. So Asa is faithful. The other possibility is that Abijah and Asa are brothers, both sons of Rehoboam, but that Abijah is unfaithful to the Lord and Asa is faithful, and that their mother is, in both cases, is Maacah. Considering the short reign of Abijah, this is at least somewhat possible. But there are possibilities here that we don't know for sure. Regardless, this highlights for us this role of the queen mother in Jerusalem. And then we see again the series of catastrophes in Israel, with evil king following evil king, and it gets worse and worse until we have Ahab and Jezebel. So I think that is it for now. God bless you all. A happy Pentecost, and we will see you shortly for day 2.